Now, the first thing I have to do is I have to turn off my background, although I did put that one up there because I wanted I wanted to be with a bunch of planetarians. We can't do it in person, but there they are for now, right? So, but I do have to turn this off because the when I show another screen here, the virtual background does not like it if it's black. Okay. Uh, One of the things is that planetarians have been struggling with for a while is captioning. Now, I realize that right now an awful lot of people are not in their theaters, and it may be a while before you can get there. So, how practical or useful this will be right away, I don't know. But Max Headroom, Zach, back a couple of years ago, who succeeded me at Mueller Planetarium, mentioned a an app, an Android app, which is called Google Live Transcribe. And the thing is that if you're using, playing a recorded show, people have been struggling with, well, how can we get captions up there? Can we embed it in the show? We can, they're all different, and then you have to figure out how to sync it and so on. But wouldn't it be easier if something would just do that for you? So Zach was the one. I give him full credit for discovering this. At the time, it was a beta version, and the beta version was pretty good, but it only worked on the latest version of Android, so you had to have the right phone that could run it. They have taken it out of beta, and now it is backward compatible to a bunch of different Android versions. So what happens is anything that I say, let me move it here, will show up in this thing. Did I hit it? Yeah, I did. Let's hold it this way so I'm not holding the button. Incorrect. But at any rate, anything that I say is going to show up here, or anything you say. Now, I don't know about the speakers from the laptop, but I could also play a show and you would hear it. One of the things about Google Live Transcribe is that it learns. So what it will do is, now I stopped it there, is that one of the things that it will do is that it will learn as it goes along. So for astronomical things, this is really useful because you may start talking about something like the Maria on Mars, and it may not get it right the first time, but after a while it will, and it will actually go back up in the text and correct. The reason I'm showing this on the phone here is because that seems to work best with the camera. What I suggest is that people go get a cheap tablet and get a cheap Google, get a cheap Android tablet, and then they can go ahead and they can run the same program on here, and it will be much larger. And then what you do is make yourself maybe a seat pocket on the back of a couple of seats. And then what you do is that you will then be able to have these ready so that if you have some visitors who are hearing impaired or need assistance, all they have to do is you bring out the tablet, stick it in the little pocket, and it's there. One of the considerations is obviously that it's possible that, especially I wouldn't give them out to kids. I wouldn't give it, just to anybody and loan it to them. I like putting it in the chair better because the thing is that if you know what's going to happen. A kid's going to walk off with your tablet or whatever. It makes it a little bit safer. The main thing is this app is free, and so I'm suggesting that you control rather than rather than telling people to put it on their phone, because if a person coming in, they're going to have to, install it and whatever. If you just have a couple of them ready, you can get Android tablets now. I think I saw on Amazon, an Amazon Fire tablet for 35 bucks. So you don't have to use something expensive, and away you go. It does not affect the lighting in the dome, Patty, because one of the things that we've done is that notice that you can make it so that it is white lettering on black. You could actually flip it, which would be annoying. But if you do it like this, then you can actually set the display brightness. I got it turned up for this, but you can set the display brightness and it doesn't doesn't bother at all. The other thing is, because it learns, that's really, really useful. And what I found was a really important point is that we're in the beginning, you talk about captioning the pre-recorded shows, but what everyone wants to do is do live. Well, now you can do live. And Patty's somebody's asking, save captions. Yes, it does save the captions as a file. You can export it. So one of the things I did, I had an old video that I didn't have my script anymore. And so what did I do? I played the video in front of this thing, recorded the captions, pulled them out, and then I got the script again. So, yeah. Now, I wouldn't project. I wouldn't project it. I want you to have it down so it's personable. Two reasons. One is it's very personal. It's not distracting to other people. And again, a pre-recorded show. I mean, I could turn on a pre-recorded show here, and anything that it hears, it will caption. Live translation, don't know. The issue is that it does, and I've tried to play around with this, you can set it for a primary language and a secondary language. And the primary language is, like right now I've got it set to English, but it's got like 70 languages in the secondary language. And I have not been able to figure it out, but I think there's a way that it should be able to see something as a secondary language and maybe do translation, but we'll get there. The other question that I knew would come up is, but I have an iPhone. Well, I can't help you. Look, in the laser world, I have Penguin laser software. It's PC. There is no, they don't do it for iPhone. And this was developed by Google with Gallaudet University, which is a very interesting place. I'm sure that some smart guy is going to write some iOS into, to do the same thing. I'm sure they can do it, but I just am not aware, and I have not found an example, and I don't have an iPhone, so I can't test it. But go out there and yeah, there's it may exist. If it's the same as Larry Smith is saying, great. The main point is so that you folks know that this exists, so that you can go try it out when you get back in your theaters. And I, of course, hope that you're all back in real soon. I've been very, very impressed, since Zach first showed the original beta to me, that you could get it to be as accurate as it was. We held it up to a TV set, and we're watching some, I don't remember what it was, and it was just captioning all along the way. So yeah, and Benjamin is saying he has found that he can do bilingual. At any rate, if you go into the settings, it has a huge number of languages. And so you too can read Patty's mind, as she's speaking to you there, or anybody you want. And this is an example where I believe the technology has really come to a wonderful place because it's free. And yeah, yeah, Zach mentions that it thought Zeus was Jesus. Well, you know, it can't, but if you keep using the same phrase, I found out that it seems to learn and get that. So Liz found that, I can't remember which show it is that's narrated by Andy Serkis. It's one of the NSC creative shows. And she said the name to it a couple, yeah, We Are Stars. And she said the name a couple of times and it got his name right. And I was amazed that it could figure out how to spell it. So what my hope is that people will just put this into use to help our visitors. Oh, and there is one other thing. It doesn't do singing. So if you start singing Waltzing with Bears, it's going to ignore you, okay? It doesn't do singing. And it doesn't seem to catch on. And it is free. Yes, totally free. But like I said, it doesn't do singing. So I suppose if you start singing during your show, you know, it's going to ignore you. But the other thought that I had was that that what you could do is if you have a gallery type program, yeah, it makes a music tab or a little music sign. But if you had a gallery program in your museum, then couldn't you either get a large tablet or something so that a live person that was giving a talk could be able to, you know, have captioning portable with them? So anyway, my original presentation was only 15 minutes and I've used up most of it. If you have any questions, go right ahead. I'm sorry, Patty, no singing. You know, it's the way it goes. But yeah, Rosemary, does it learn? Yes, it learns. What it does is it learns what it hears. It just repeats whatever it hears from whatever source. So, but it does learn so that as it goes along, if there are terms, like sometimes astronomical terms, it will learn and it will actually go back and correct itself. So, yeah, you could do screen sharing from the tablet to a TV. So you could make it bigger than that. You do need Android for this. And like I said, it depends on whatever kind of device you want to use. Here, for showing it in this format or showing it here, I just found that people could see my phone a lot better than they could see my tablet. I don't know about an Android emulator. That's an interesting question. It's listening to Patty saying, well, okay, but that's because Patty's special, you know. I'm not sure about an emulator, but any other questions? It cannot, if you're drinking and singing, maybe it doesn't carry that very well. But again, much thanks to Zach for originally turning us on to this. Liz's Theater is open, but they have not had time now to implement because we found it back and they were just getting everything set up. And then that strange COVID bug hit. And so, you know, it's slowed up. But the good thing is because it's free and the Android tablets are cheap. So the free and cheap, I figure, would be loved by most planetarians. And hasn't picked up, okay, Zach is trying it. That's good. Yeah, free and cheap, I figured, was our bywords for the planetarium community. So any other questions? And I will keep us on schedule. Yeah, we've tried web captioner with some other people, and well, they were trying to do it with translation and didn't seem to go well. But to Ken Brandt, it's Google Live Transcribe, and it's in the Play Store, so you can find it. And like I said, this tablet that I'm running it on here is like 7 years old, so it's now compatible back to earlier versions of Android. When it first came out, it only worked with the brand new version. And anyway, that's it. Go have fun. Like it says, go have fun.
All right, it looks like Jack finished a little bit early, so if you have any questions, go ahead. We're going to try to stay on time. The next person up will be at 9:30, and that will be Adam.
Well, I wanted to keep us on time because I know how conferences usually run.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It works well with Portuguese. I like that. Yeah, if you go into the settings, there's a huge number of languages. That's what amazed me. I think it's Brazilian Portuguese. Well, no, wait, I think it's both. I think there are different settings, Patty. Yeah, and there are various versions of Spanish. There's various versions of English. You can do English from Australia, if you like. And by the way, kudos to Michelle. I see 54 on here by now. Amazing. Yeah. Well, actually, let me go see. And then you have an option to save the transcribe. So you can go in and then you tell it if you want it to save this transcribe. Transcriptions are saved for 3 days, which should be enough. Let me look at the. You can also get Nigerian English, Kenyan English, South African English, United Kingdom English, India English. And you can pick Danish, let's see, Dutch, the Netherlands. Anyway, all different kinds of Spanishes. Anyway, but I also do recommend that Business About, where I had a show, an old show, it was a video, and I didn't have my script anymore, and I needed it, and so I got it this way. Doing punctuation, well, yeah, fair, you know, I'm not going to submit it to an English teacher. You might have to punch it up. At any rate, to everybody, go play, Go try a bunch of different languages. And I can't wait to hear from Adam because I can't wait for us to actually be at a real conference. Now you have to get your own moose. Software to Sarah is Google Live Transcribe. And let me back up here. There. So anything you say, there it will be. And it's free. That's the important part. So everyone have fun. Have a good rest of today in hospitality. And I'll see you tomorrow in the late afternoon, virtually. Well, not me, but I'll be there. Yeah, that's just it. No. Let's face it, I'm lazy, I'm old, this is handy. And thanks again to Zach, many times.
So just let him know. that
So Adam, I made you a co-host, and so if you want to start getting set up, you can.
Okay.